A Basic Logical Volume. This video assumes that you either have some unpartitioned space available or some unused partitions properly configured to the logical volume partition type. If you don't, a new virtual drive on a virtual machine, such as VMware Server, would be more than sufficient, at least for test purposes. In this video, I set up a logical volume from a couple of partitions on the same hard drive. That's done for simplicity. In real life, logical volumes are generally configured on different physical hard drives and even different physical controllers, as that is often more efficient in terms of reading and writing data. I'll assume that you know how to create partitions set up as logical volumes. They're easy to configure with utilities such as parted and fdisk. Just be sure to set your new partitions to the appropriate partition type. As you can see here, I've done that on the second SCSI drive and have actually set up 3 different partitions. The required commands are available from the LVM2 package. The basic commands are pvcreate to create a physical volume, vgcreate to create a volume group, lvcreate to create a logical volume. It's the logical volume upon which you mount a directory of your choice. There are a number of related commands available. Physical volume commands start with pv. Volume group commands start with vg. And logical volume commands start with lv. Now let's start the process of creating a volume group. And I'll do that on the first and second primary partitions from the second SCSI drive, labeled as dev sdb1 and dev sdb2. So let's start by creating physical volumes. pvcreate dev sdb1 dev sdb2. That's pretty simple. I can confirm the result with the pvs command. There they are, a couple of logical volumes. Now let's create a volume group. That's done with the vgcreate command, and the volume group name will be volgroup1. vgcreate volgroup1 from the configured physical volumes dev sdb1 and dev sdb2. How about that? Let's confirm the result. I have a volume group. Now we can create a logical volume. And the command shown here creates the logical volume of a size of 100 megabytes. It has to fit within the specified volume group. And we'll name the logical volume Logical 1. How about that? Logical volume Logical 1 is created. And we can confirm the result with the sudo lvs command. The device file is not quite what you might expect. It's on dev mapper volgroup1 logical 1. In other words, the device file name as the name of the volume group and the logical volume embedded within. However, for formatting purposes, the actual device file name is dev volgroup1 logical 1. So when we format it, say to the default third extended file system, we do it on that particular device. And now to test it out, let's mount that device. Dev file group 1 logical 1, and make it the default for Dickens's home directory. And there it is. We can implement it as shown here in the etcfs tab configuration file. In other words, we would set up a line file group 1 logical 1 mounted on the home Dickens directory, configured to the third extended file system, with the noted options, and so on. Alternatively, we can set it up with a UUID as shown in this particular FS tab configuration file, and I describe UUIDs, universal identifiers or universally unique identifiers, in a different video. Thank you, and on to the next video.